The Sunday school lesson for March 26, 2023 is One with a Mental Illness. Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 13 and verses 18 through 20. To the viewers and subscribers, welcome to my channel, The Backstory. I am Audrey. Today's agenda is as follows. I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. Please, for those of you who have not subscribed, if this channel is of any benefit to you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much in advance for your support. Jesus' power and authority. In Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through chapter 5, verse 43, Mark details 4 examples of Jesus using his unlimited power as the Son of Man, who came to serve and meet humanity's needs. Jesus calms the sea. In Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41 is the first example. The next 2 examples come from Mark chapter 5, verses 21 through 34. Jesus raises a dead girl and heals a sick woman. And the 4th example comes from today's lesson, which is Jesus overpowers Legion. Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 13 and verses 18 through 20. The backstory details Jesus' power and authority over the sea. Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. Jesus calms the sea. According to Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 36, that same day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was, in the boat. There were also other boats with him. Mark chapter 4, verse 37 states, "A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped." Mark chapter 4, verse 38 tells us that Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" The narrative continues with verses 39 through 40. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Today's lesson begins here with the account of Jesus' power and authority over Legion. Key text, key verse. The man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. Mark chapter 5, verse 20. Verse 1. They went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. Verse 2. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. Verse 3. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. Verse 4. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Verse 5. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills he would cry out and cut himself with stones. Verse 6. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. Verse 7. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." Verse 8. For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Verse 9. Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." Verse 10. And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. Verse 11. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. Verse 12. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." Verse 13. He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Verse 18. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Verse 19. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." Verse 20. So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. A brief summary. Landing on the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee, the disciples found themselves in primarily a Gentile area. Nearby was an area with cavern tombs. A certain man lived among those tombs. Matthew told of two demon possessed men in chapter 8, verse 28. Mark likely mentioned only the one best known by his readers. The man identified himself by the name Legion, a reference to a Roman military force of 6,000 soldiers. The word was used for any very large number, indicating that the man was possessed by an unspecified number of demons. With a single command, Jesus drove the impure spirits into a herd of pigs that then charged into the lake. The residents of the area saw the possessed man in his right mind and were afraid. Because of their fear, they begged Jesus to leave. Tragically, their fear kept Jesus from performing other great miracles in their land at that time. Thank you so much for watching. Join me soon for the next backstory. Stay safe.